So the general sort of topic of our documentary is going to be the fact that in almost every university city, there seems to be some sort of divide between the local community and students themselves, especially students that live within the local community. Um, so there's a term known as HMOs, which is essentially just loads of people that live in a single house. And this is quite a prominent problem in certain areas of Swansea, like Uplands and Bryn Mill. And it's actually been appearing in the news quite a bit in recent years, where essentially these local people are experiencing these really, really horrible problems. Of course, you'll probably follow pages on Facebook like Overheard at Swansea, Swanfest, Swansea Beach Posting. So a lot of these pages, they often give the perspective of these students and the problems they encounter with, the residents and the families that live in these houses. But I feel like we don't really get much of, we don't really hear much about either side. It's usually just, the families either telling people what these students have done. But, there's obviously two sides to every story. I personally know that I have problems with the lady that lives below me in my house. She blocked my drive the other week, and she got a parking ticket because of that, so I'm quite happy. But there are obviously problems in every area, every house, and our documentary essentially wants to look at both those sides and see, is there sort of a common ground that anyone shares, and is there a solution to this problem? So, yeah, we're just going to talk about, the certain areas of the documentary and how they're essentially going to be covered.
Okay, so because our topic seems like a little bit serious because we need to interview both sides, and so for the songs and maybe we will use some Facebook screenshot, like we already have some screenshot. Maybe we will use in our the final edit, in our documentary, and then for the songs we need to use some serious tones, like because this documentary seems like a news interview like that. So we need to use some serious tones, and also for discussing victims. And for the voiceover, the most important thing is to push in the narrative. So the first we need to introduce the any interviews, and after that we need to the voiceover needs to interview some basic informations about our documentary, and after that we need to record. Or we need to record in home studio because the voiceover need to be a quiet environment. The last thing is giving a brief overview. This one is also most important point in the songs and the voiceover.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about narrative and interview. For the narrative, we around a simple question is anything can be done. So it's definitely a nature perspective, and I mean, it's a. We need a liner narrative instead of a non-liner because it means it will follow a step-by-step structure. And for the interview, we consider three group of people. One is officers, junior officers, and students, and the locals. And for the officers, we interview them to talk about the solutions, how they deal with this issue, and we interview the students what they are feeling about this, and in our story we contain an antisocial behavior.
different people have different lifestyles, and we will survey the following type, in particular landlord, student, families, and we can record what impact they have and what they will do, and what's the difference between them.
Okay. What's the general type of your video? Is it just explaining what's happening?
It's
or-
going to be a sort of exploration because it's only something I've really read about. I've never seen any sort of video about this. I don't necessarily want it to be one-sided. At the same time, I don't exactly know yet what the sort of conclusion is going to be, simply because I don't really know their side of things. So, you know, if I think there's any sort of question that's going to be sort of answered with the film, I think it would be, you know, is there any solution to this problem? And if it's happening, when is it going to happen?
Thank you.